Well, happy Sunday, everybody. We're getting some welcome rain here in Oklahoma. Man, I love the rain in the hot August month. This is just, it's always nice to get a hot shower. A good thunder shower in the south anyway, at least Texas and Oklahoma. And it's usually hotter than the heck. This is really nice. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. But today, I want to do another video. And yesterday we talked about EFI versus carburetors versus multi-port fuel injection. Basically, we're talking about deviating from stock. While I'm waiting on parts, like I said yesterday, this is a very good conversation that needs to be had, in my humble opinion. So, big conversation I usually have with folks. They want to get an EFI system, or they want an overdrive, or we build their engine. We talk about, going with aluminum cylinder heads and whatnot. This is where we get into stock versus modified, or Restomod Light. And I guess this discussion, really what I want to talk about is, when is the right time to do that? When is what situations do you put yourself in, or do you have, and decision making goes into place when you talk about deviating from a stock setup? And I'm talking about muscle cars. I'm talking about mainly your 60s muscle cars. So if you have a bone stock but low mileage, excellent shape, 69 Hurst Olds. We had a customer down in Texas with a 69 Hurst Olds. Those are beautiful cars. To me, those are my favorite Oldsmobiles. That car was all stock and it was all real. It wasn't a fake. So that client just wanted the car to run right. He didn't want any fuel injection. He didn't want aluminum heads. He didn't want overdrive. In my opinion, you'd be an idiot to do that to that car. So when people come and they want to get an engine built from us anyway, or they want to talk about fuel injection, they want to talk about an overdrive, they want to deviate from stock. So I'm all for that. That's a lot about what this channel is about. But if you've got a certain car that's a low mileage, rare, it's in great shape, numbers matching, I gotta have the discussion. Do we really want to go there? Because you may not be doing it to sell the car or anything, but what is right by the car? Now, I'm gonna take this car here, for example. This is Kevin Ruby's 1970 Dodge Dart Slinger. Everybody knows, that's been watching my channel, knows what it is. It is a real 340 car. Now, it's not the numbers matching engine. That engine, when Kevin got this car, was long gone. But he did find another 1970 340 block. And for the most part, we went with basically a stock theme, although you can tell I need to finish the wiring. Yes, there's a lot of things I need to do. But we obviously have an electronic distributor. We've got an Edelbrock and not a Carter AFB. So, yeah, and obviously, internally, it's not a 340 anymore. It's a 416. Heads have been reworked, and obviously an aftermarket cam. Kevin and I agreed this was the absolute right thing to do with this car. Nothing wrong. You're already there. Why not spice it up a little bit, have some fun? This thing is going to be a barn burner as far as on the street goes. But basically everything else is along with the stock thing, stock suspension, stock rear end, stock style 8 3/4 rear end. I think this was the right decision to make. So he and I both agreed, yeah, let's go in that direction. That was the method of the madness on this one. For my car, my 69 Charger, it is not a real RT. It is a 69 SE White Hat Special Car. That car came factory with a 383 4-barrel, the high performance version, and it wasn't an RT. So, in my opinion, that gave me the green light to go ahead and build it my way. You know, I wanted EFI, I wanted a stroker, aluminum heads, overdrive. I didn't ruin or didn't take a factory RT car, 440 car, Hemi car, and make it into something it wasn't. If that was a real RT, 440, 4-speed, all these things, obviously it would have hurt the value of the car. But it wasn't. My friend Glenn, who has the Pontiac, sorry, walking around my shop, got everything in the shop inside, so it's hard to get around. But my friend Glenn, he's taken pretty much the same identical approach as I did on the Charger. This, obviously everybody knows, this is our 350 stroker for Glenn's 1972 Pontiac Le Mans. It's not a GTO, it's a Le Mans. However, he wanted to keep it looking stock, and I totally agree. Obviously, you Pontiac guys, you're gonna know. You're gonna see the aluminum heads when he opens the hood, but you're gonna take a second look because you're gonna see a factory intake on it. And yes, we have an updated ignition on this one as well. It's got an HEI, the right thing to do, and it's getting the sniper, the quadrijet sniper, by the way. This is the absolute right thing to do. And I can't speak for Glenn, you know, necessarily word for word. I'll let him chime in on the comments, but, you know, Glenn's take on it is probably, you know, it's not a GTO. What's really cooler about it is it's an actual Le Mans. It's not something that it was never born to be. It's still a Le Mans. He's sticking with that theme. But he's deviating some from stock, but I would call it Restomod light, just like my car. Right thing to do. So now let's talk about cars that have value, that are rare or semi-rare, or they're highly sought after in the marketplace. So you take our Grand National. This car has 41,000 miles on it. I was with my dad, we bought it new. I love the car. Of course, it's a lot of sentimental value. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, my dad would be madder than hell that this LS translator and that this intake system is on here, and I have the stock set up. It's in the attic. Don't worry, I did not throw anything away. Obviously, we're still waiting on our hoses for turbo or pipes and the intercooler and everything. But I'm gonna talk about these Grand Nationals for a second. I see a lot of guys that want to take a Grand National and they want to put an LS engine in them. Your car it's a free country. You're welcome to do whatever you want with your car. So let me first say that I am not a dictator, and I respect your opinion on what you want to do with your car. That's totally fine, right? I'm just going to give you my perspective on this stuff. Why put an LS in one of these cars? I know you LS guys, you know, and Hemi guys too, Coyote guys, you like to go put a LS in these older GM cars, but why not get a Buick Regal and paint the damn thing black and put the Regal or the Grand National trim on it? That's just my opinion. And again, opinions are like, you know what, everybody has one, right? But one of these cars, I just highly disagree with that. Not to mention, they still run like a bat out of hell, man. Even with doing mods to these things, I don't have to tell people that, right? There's a reason why these cars are sought after. But again, I like to stay with the stock theme. So you go back to Kevin for a moment, talk about my friend Kevin. Kevin is an Oldsmobile aficionado and has a nice collection of Oldsmobiles. And he got me into them, to the Oldsmobile community And I met some really, I have great friends in the Oldsmobile community. I've started building a lot of 455s and 400s. They're great engines, they're torque monsters. So if you have a factory 442 that's in great shape, doesn't even have to be low miles, but it's a certain rarity of an Oldsmobile. Do you really need to go in putting EFI and the HEI and overdrive and deviating that much from stock on one of those cars? My opinion's no. I'm just giving the opinion. Those cars run fantastic when they're built right and they're tuned right, just like all the other muscle cars did. Now, you got a Cutlass, you got an old Cutlass, and you know it came with just a mundane engine. You want to put a LS in it, or you want to really deviate from stock on it, man, in my opinion, go for it. Go for it. If you've got a Shelby, how many people do you see that have Shelby Mustangs that are going to go in and doing mods to them, deviating from stock? I'm sure there are, but I don't think it's a wise choice. If you had I'm gonna give you an example now. My friend Jackie Sims back in Texas. He has two Chevelles. He has a 67 396 4-speed car, and it's a real 396 4-speed car, a true SS car. He stayed with what it was, and it runs. You big block Chevy guys know it runs fantastic. He now has a 69 Super Sport Chevelle that he pretty much restored, and he went back with the 396 and the Turbo 400 in that car. It runs fantastic, has AC, does everything it's supposed to do. If Jackie came to me and says, Darren, I want to put an LS in this thing, Jackie knows that we'd have a conversation about that. He knows that I just at first want to talk to him about, let's look at building this big block Chevy, and you want more power, as everybody knows. It's not going to take much. Let's put a roller cam in it. Let's go through the heads a little bit. It doesn't need all that stuff. And when you open the hood on that and you see an LS engine where the 396 should have been, it's a disappointment to me. Now, I do not want to sound like a hypocrite, because I hate hypocrites. And I gave the guy at Lunar Garage some friendly bantering on his Buick. I think it's a 1970 Skylark, or maybe GS, I'm not sure. It's not a GSX. But he put an LS engine in that thing. I think he put some turbos on it, I'm not sure. So he kind of came back at me and said, yeah, sure, why don't I go spend all this money on the 455 to try to find one, a good block, and then to do all these things to it that an LS would do. And I think it's just a Skylark. It's not a GS. And then I came back and said, I really sound like a hypocrite. Then I came back and I apologized to him because I sounded like a hypocrite. Let me tell you why. Our 68 Barracuda that's at Just Mopar Joe's is getting the paint job and the whole 9 yards done to it. Well, it's originally a 318 car. It was never a Formula S car. It's just pretty much a 318 car. Had some options like AC. I mean, what options could you get back then right on that particular car? But I decided, because I've never done the modern engines, I've always done legacy engines, and well, this is what it's getting. It's getting the Gen 3s. Everybody knows. We talked about this engine yesterday when we talked about multi-torque. Gen 3 stroker. But I apologize to him because I'm doing the same thing he's doing. And it's getting basically a 4L60E GM overdrive transmission. I know Mopar people, you don't like that. We'll talk about that another day. But I want an overdrive transmission. So, yeah, it was never a Formula S car. Formula S car would have come with a 340 or even a 383 big block. If it was a real Formula S car, no way I'd be doing this, right? I'd just find another car, Mopar or whatever to do that too, but you know, that was my first car. So I like to know your opinions, guys. And this starts a lot of, I don't want to start arguments. This is not, I respect everybody's build, absolutely. And in this community, we don't need to be poo-pooing on each other. We got the climate change people that want to end our hobby. They want to get rid of us. We are a menace to their society. I try to keep politics out of it. But yeah. So anyway, on your classic car, when do you modify it? When do you Restomod it? When do you Restomod light that car? What are the right decisions? So you guys let me know. I'm gonna continue enjoying this beautiful rain and try to enjoy the rest of this day. So you guys get out, turn some wrenches. I want to see your cars. They need to be on the road. So have a good day, everybody.